The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gaz, an orc barbarian, sworn protector of the Caliban frontier.
I'm Konnor Shenold. I play Konnor with a K, Kobold Sorcerer who is a continuous thorn in the Empire's side.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Zonimus Dinar, a paladin of dusk, using vengeance as a tool to protect the ones I love.
I'm Kiri Hester. I play Poppy Tea Leaf, the halfling desert druid determined to save the wild places from the ambitions of civilization.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play Mokrin Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer finding his true family as revealed by the secrets of the frontier.
And I'm Ash King, your dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Caliban Frontier. After having rescued Taavi, the brass Dragonborn, from the clutches of a group of young blood gnolls, it is time to leave Shada. You all return to the skyship, finding it exactly where you left it, in exactly the condition you left it, owing mostly to the fact that Konnor willingly sacrificed that spell slot and kept his concentration. You are accompanied by Taavi, and he sets down his bag of supplies down in the hold and just kind of looks the ship over. Strange transportation you have.
We got some pointers from the Empire. They don't know about this bad boy yet, and I slap the side of the boat. I'll do a little bit of bragging and go up and start the ship and begin its ascent. So, you take off, heading off into the cool night of the Caliban frontier. Taavi points you due south, but he does approach you, Konnor, and says, "Would you like the knowledge returned to you?" He kind of hesitates for a moment and thinks, with so much happening, it might be better if more than just one person amongst this party can remember.
I am in agreement, and I believe she would be as well.
I'll motion for Mokrin to take over the helm.
Yeah, I got it.
And step off to the side with Taavi.
Taavi will take you kind of towards the center of the ship, so that way, just in case, neither of you are liable to fall off. And he sits down in front of you, so that way the two of you are at eye level, and he places two fingertips on your brow and starts to whisper under his breath, casting Remove Curse.
As the fingers touch Konnor's brow, he slips his eyes closed, and as the spell is washing over him, he gives a gasp and a shudder. I remember. I didn't remember how beautiful it was. And he takes a moment to compress his emotions of suddenly remembering his homeland and opens his eyes to look at Taavi. Thank you.
I believe that you have more than earned it, little one.
and kind of subtly reaches up to like wipe a little tear from his eyes.
You know, Konnor, that the trip down to the Whisperwind Caverns and then to the Lair of Thundercrack, with the speed of the ship, it's going to be a little over a day. So 1 full day worth of travel, and just a bit more due south from here.
Okay.
And then you will reach your destination.
So, what I'm hearing you say is long rest?
Yes, actually.
And Mockern and I will take turns
Yes.
with the commanding of the ship.
I go find Poppy, and I say, Poppy, you seem to have problems with letting that young gnoll go back to its people.
It's one of those, like, I understand that it needed to be done. I wasn't going to stop it from being done. I was just going to have a hard time watching it be done. And then not because I think that the Gnoll was in the rat. I mean, he wasn't. He attacked us. He was prey to kidnapping Taavi. He probably was in league with the assassination that happened. And all in all, not good guy. Definitely deserves to be in prison. But I also understand a little bit how the young bloods might feel. And I just felt like staying with Taavi sounded like a more fun time for me than doing that. So
Was it your feeling of authority? And
it's not really necessarily the authority of it. It's just that I recognize a little bit of myself in the ways in which some, not all, some of the male gnolls are treated. They don't really have a lot of the same choice as their female counterparts. Do I think that's awesome? Yes. As a female, I think that's super cool, and I super support it. But it's just one of those, like, you know, I can understand the villain's backstory, and I know he needs to be locked up, but I'm also, like, a little sad that he grew up in a society where he felt like he had no choice but to become a villain.
a marginalized people are still a marginalized people, regardless of what side they are on.
So, am I glad that he's in prison? Yes. Do not get me wrong. He did bad things. He was party to bad things. His group is going about change in a very radical and bloodthirsty way, and that's not right. And Taavi's a freaking divination guy, and that just seems like really cool. And I wish I had a cool scrying bowl, and I don't. So, yeah.
I am a little bit saddened that I did not get to see this Seraphina from the tales you have told.
I mean, she's real pretty, but real evil. But thank you for checking in on me, Gas. That was mighty kind of you.
You bet. You know, you need some mead. How about some mead?
I don't really...
Come on.
I'm not a mead drinker. You know, Jubilee makes some good stuff, but it mostly tastes like fruit juice, so...
Well, regardless, let's find us something to drink and then sleep in for the night. I think we have a good day's travel and we can actually rest. It's been a while since we've had a good night where we know there is nothing coming that is horrible.
For sure. And I can make some tea, and, you know, everybody kind of, like, goes about their business. I want to kind of wait until it's that, like, quiet moment where, you know, everybody is bedding down, and whether they're asleep or not is their own business, but we're all kind of, like, quiet. And I will poke Zonimus, come with me. And I would like to find a, you know, I know it's a small boat, but, like, just like a little secluded out of earshot area. And, you know, the stars are real pretty.
Yeah, they are, especially when you're a little bit closer to them.
Have you studied any astronomy, Zonimus?
I haven't, no. That was more my dad's speed than mine, really.
I don't know much about the science of the stars, but what I do know is the stories of a lot of the pictures up there, and there's some really nice stories up there. Have you heard the story of Zachariah and Drizelda?
No, Poppy. Can't say that I have.
It's a really nice story. See, Zachariah and Drizelda were two people, and they fell in love, as people do. But see, the problem is that they were on an important mission. And so Zachariah was worried that his focus on the mission might be compromised because of his love for Griselda. And so he tried to push her away, and he ran off in the night to go complete their mission. But then he learned that his love for Griselda gave him strength and made him powerful, and he wasn't going to be able to complete the mission without her. And in his moments, he's beaten down, he's losing the fight, and then dun, 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 here she comes, and together they work together and they win the battle. Isn't that a nice story?
It is a nice story, Poppy.
Well, I feel like maybe I was being a little bit like Zachariah here, and maybe like pushing you away because I thought that the mission is important and I didn't want to cloud my brain with thoughts about things that aren't mission related. But I think also that caring about you gives me a reason to fight for the future, right? Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. That's how I look at it.
And so I just wanted you to know that I care about you too, and I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings earlier.
Well, Poppy, I've developed some pretty thick skin over the years. However, I do have a soft spot for you. But you didn't say anything to me directly against me, and you didn't really act directly in opposition of how I feel about you, how I think you feel about me. So I kind of thought maybe you just needed that space, much like you just described. So I let you have it. Here, I'm gonna take my jacket off and prop it up as a pillow. Otherwise, we've been like sitting on our butts with our feet on the ground, you know, and use that. I'm gonna kind of lay back and like motion you over to like cuddle up next to me, put your head on my chest, kind of thing.
Right.
I'm gonna say I understand Zachariah and I understand you. I take your meaning. I also kind of felt like a little bit like Zachariah. I'm gonna start pulling my fingers through your hair a little bit. I thought that my feelings for you might get in the way of this mission, but this mission is to help save everyone in the world. And Poppy, you're in this world with me.
Indeed, I am.
So if I'm saving the world, I'm saving you. And then I'm gonna like kind of sigh out of breath, like a dog that's laid down and finally got his spot. He's just, I'm gonna keep pulling your hair, but slow it way down. Yeah, you're in this world. You're my world, Poppy. I'm fighting for you.
Continuing on, as the sun begins to rise over the Kalban frontier. Your journey started around about the middle of the night, and by dusk of the next day, you have reached the Whisperwind Caverns. The canyons stretch high above. You will not be able to bring the ship in.
I'll say I'm at the helm again. I'll carefully begin to lower the ship down a ways from the entrance, but not super far away. Just give us enough clearance not to bang anything, and I'll set us down.
You set the ship down, and you can kind of find a little alcove to park it, so that way it's not obvious where you're at. But these caverns, they feel like home.
Konnor, don't worry about it. I got it this time.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to tap my staff on the ground 3 times. And then I'm going to cast Wall of Thorns on kind of the opening of the alcove. So out of the kind of rocky ground, these big Wall of Thorns come up out of the ground, and they're 10 feet high, and they kind of weave through each other. And if you're in the area and you look, you're still going to see a boat. But, you know, maybe it'll provide a little bit of coverage. I'm figuring out how to use this thing.
Thank you, Poppy.
Thank you, Nightmare.
Yeah.
So you hide the boat, and you start to walk through these caverns. And again, it's this series of just maybe at one point, hundreds of thousands of years ago, there was a river that flowed through here and carved out all of these caverns. But the deeper you get and the closer you start to get to Thundercrack's lair, Makrin, you're noticing something on the walls. It's ore.
Ooh.
It is very familiar ore.
I grab my hammer and I'm looking at the workmanship of the hammer, and you might even see me walk closer and closer to a wall, maybe even pause, and the group starts getting ahead of me a little bit.
Gaz, who is behind you, puts his hand on your hammer. Says, my friend, this is neither the time nor the place to go digging.
But Gaz, look, I've been known to jump to conclusions sometimes, but I think this ore, if it didn't come from here, then in a similar vein somewhere else.
Makron, give me a roll. Add advantage. Add your stone cunning.
So that is a modified 22.
It's firestone.
Wait a minute. This whole thing, look. Konnor!
He'll look back and see that you're hanging away from the party and, what's up?
Come here, look at this.
And I'll step over and, what?
It's veins of firestone all through here.
Konnor will look over at the stone and kind of furrow his brow. And is that what you call firestone?
Well, yeah. Okay, so in Venturis, it's the way things are powered. It's what Smithson was trying to originally make the skyships work with, and they didn't have the intensity. It can't maintain the charge.
Konnor, what do you call it?
This is Argentum's blessing.
So the thing also, Makron, that you have always been told is that supposedly Firestone can only be found in the mountains of the Cracked Crown, where the Dwarven clans live.
Wait, Argentium the dragon?
Yeah.
When was she ever in the Cracked Crown?
I don't know. This is part of Thundercrack's creation.
Steam and whistles. We'd always been taught it's only in the Cracked Crown. It doesn't exist anywhere else in all of Ritoya.
This stone isn't, it's an ore, but it's a part of Thundercrack. How are they getting... And he kind of trails off, and we need to talk to Thundercrack.
Why would part of Thundercrack?
I don't know. We need to talk to her.
We need to talk to Thundercrack.
And he'll grab onto you to pull you away from this ore.
Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm Michael Cross. So great to have a moment to talk with you during this mid-show break. First off, I want to invite you all to join us as Patreon members. The money we raise helps us pay for things like the music and sound effects you hear on the show, as well as money to go to events and make new fans. When you become a Patreon member, you get our episodes 4 days early, bonus content, access to our Discord server, and full versions of our roundtable discussions. You'll be joining other fans like Scott Wise, Don Mills, Heath Mormon, and the Lady Kate. So join us right now at patreon.com/reddirtdnd. Another way to support us is by getting your very own Red Dirt merchandise. You can find things like hats, hoodies, mugs, and t-shirts. Just click on the merch tab at reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Since 2020, the Red Dirt D&D podcast has been close to another Oklahoma actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast, D20 to Curtain. And me personally, I've had a chance to work on stage with some of the actors on the show. So when you get done with this episode, you should check them out.
Hello, fellow D&Ders. My name is Jerome.
I'm Jennifer. I'm Jody.
And together with our friends Kara, Timothy, and Jared, we are the cast of the D20 to Curtain podcast, where Oklahoma theater geeks and their friends hit record and explore our new addiction to Dungeons & Dragons.
We think D&D is more than just a game. It helps us tap into the enduring power of storytelling.
We combine live gameplay with behind-the-curtain episodes to share our experiences, insights, habits, discoveries, and passion for D&D with anyone who will listen.
We hope D20 to Curtain will make you laugh, cry, maybe even make your experience at your table even more satisfying. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts or visit us at d20tocurtain.com or at D20 to Curtain on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We look forward to having you. All we ask is that you have fun, be kind, and play the role.
If you're looking for more content, make sure to check out our YouTube page with Mysteries of Beatrix live every Wednesday. Keys from the Golden Vault from the Red Dirt Outlaws dropping every Tuesday at noon, and Plausible Deniability every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out at youtube.com/@RedDirtRPG or search for Red Dirt RPG on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Red Dirt RPG. You can also get in touch with us through our website at reddirtrpg.com. In the meantime, make sure and subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment on your favorite podcatcher so others can find us. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Right now, let's head back to Red Dirt D&D.
Continuing on your way through the Whisperwind Caverns, you pass by a few wells that have been dug deep into the earth and statues of a great dragon looming down, the eyes of the statues seeming to watch you as you pass by. But eventually, you make your way to an offshoot and walk into what you feel at first is just a cave system that trails for some time until you step out once more into sunshine. But the sight before you is almost too fantastical to believe. You step into a verdant oasis. There's greenery here, there's life, and there's that humidity that comes from being near a pretty large body of water. And you kind of step out onto a ledge overlooking this, and you indeed see this lush paradise. And you can just see the rooftops of buildings peeking up through the canopies, and a large lake right in the middle. Konnor, you're home.
Konnor steps forward onto the sand and just takes in the look around him, something he had long forgotten until just recently, the way back to. And he just gives a very releasing sigh of, I'm finally home. Are there any other kobolds, dragonborn around here?
You don't see any just yet, but as you do start to step into this greenery, walking along various paths, you do run into some various patrols. As word starts to spread, a couple of kobolds do run up to you and just you hear, Konnor! And like one just whap, roll,
Yeah.
come to a stop. You're back!
I'm back! It's been forever. How have you been?
It's good, same old, just gotta, catalog the treasures and all that.
Yeah. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, always.
But I've got an amazing adventure that I've been on. Some good, some bad, but we need to talk to Thundercrack. Where is she?
Well, you know where to find her. Go to the temple.
All right. Good to know she's still in the same place.
Always. Why wouldn't you be in there?
Don't be modest, Konnor.
Oh.
You've been a hero.
Oh, whatever. I mean, I just got my wings, or started my wings, and
What?
turn around.
No way. No way. They turn you around or looking at it lucky ducky.
Yeah.
This young kobold was the one who brought back Nightmare, the Terrible Black.
You did what now?
Yeah, so Nightmare's back. We went to his realm of dread and brought him back and helped defeat the Mind Eater.
The what?
Yeah, there's a lot to be said.
Maybe we should save this story for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
When we tell it to the
We-
great and mighty Thundercrack.
Yeah. These are my friends, my companions. He corrects himself. Zonimus, Poppy, Makrin,
Howdy.
Gaz, and Taavi's here with us. We gotta go to the temple, so follow me real quick, and I'll scurry along. Excited to be here, walking perhaps a little too fast for some of you, but in a group of kobolds, it's kind of hard to actually spot which one is actually Konnor.
You approach, and I use the word temple, but it's really more of a palace. You've amassed, quite a following of different Dragonborn and Kobold who are all highly curious about these outsiders that have been brought into the heart of a dragon's lair. This is probably the first time they've seen outsiders ever. But you approach the palace, walking up the front steps. Taavi walks out in front of the group with Konnor next to him and bows down low. My lady, Your servants have returned, and from the depths of this palace, onto the wide, open veranda, steps Thundercrack. Her scales glisten in the sunlight. She raises her head up, looks at you all. Taavi, Konnor, welcome home. Zonimus, I assume?
I will not bow. I will stand prideful with my chest out.
I've enjoyed the stories, but now I get to meet the reality. Gaz.
My lady, it is an honor, and I do actually go down on my knees and say, you are legend, and it is a great honor to be in your presence.
The honor is mine, Poppy, and your beloved Wildfire.
We will give a polite curtsy, despite the fact that we are definitely wearing pants. And she looks up. Poppy is so small next to this magnificent creature. And she will give Wildfire a little pat and just look up at her. You are so magnificent and beautiful.
She preens. And Makrin.
You see one tear just drip down out of Makrin's face and go along his chin. And the beauty of the thing just overwhelms him. But he also feels like he's at home. And his mouth moves with no sound for a moment. And then he says, "Thank you. Thank you for all the gifts." And his head goes down and he takes one knee. He knows, but maybe he can't put into words what that means, what those words mean.
You are welcome, little one. Come, all of you. You must be tired. Let us sit and chat and figure out what steps need to be taken next in order to ensure the safety of our domain. And she turns and enters back into her palace.
Konnor gets up from his bow. You see his form kind of relax a little, like as if before Thundercrack he'd gotten a little tense before he turns back to the rest of you. Okay, let's follow her.
I whisper to Konnor, "Hey Konnor, I didn't say nothing stupid, did I?"
No.
I don't even remember nothing till she turned away.
She has that effect. She's so glorious, but just, act natural. It'll be fine.
Right.
Konnor, you okay?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how she'd react to me bringing outsiders here.
Wait, was it more of that draconic telepathy thing? How'd she know?
I've been giving her reports.
Oh, he was giving descriptions like,
Yeah.
he's the dwarf and she's the half. I got it.
Yeah, you gotta have details in your reports.
Gaz, my friend, with
Yes.
all due respect, you heard her. We are the legends.
I actually was thinking about your friend Gideon and the fact that he could not be here.
He's here, and that's when I'll reach out for Poppy's hand.
I reach up.
You okay?
I mean, as okay as anybody who was just personally addressed by a dragon can be.
You ready?
I'm always ready. I was born ready.
Zonimus is going to turn and start following her.
Yes. Come on, Makrin.
Yeah.
I think our destiny awaits.
You ever been this far out before, Gaz?
No, I have not.
And as we're walking, Makrin, I say, his voice trails off.
And did you see them caverns and the oars and the...
You all enter into Thundercrack's throne room. She kind of looks back to you all and... This form, is it comfortable for me to remain here? Or would it be best should I transform so that you do not need to crane your necks?
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything. You're a great dragon and all, but yeah, it is. I'm really small and you're really high, so like you could come down here, or like if there like a cliff we could stand on.
You see, it's almost as if the rippling of water as the form of the dragon shrinks down and changes into an old, aged, female orc shaman. This form, I find it easier to interact with humans and other mortals.
It is a beautiful form. I am honored that you have taken the shape of my people.
Yes, I say in Orcish.
We have always been rather fond of the orcs.
We have always been rather fond of you, lady.
She takes you all to a sitting area, and some others of her followers do bring over light refreshment, but she relaxes back into a cushioned chair, fingertips resting together. So, Konnor has reported much to us of the stirrings of the Empire. This concerns us greatly, especially given the reports of what has happened to the Guardians.
Yes, they have all the keys. All they lack right now is the location of Cimarron.
And apparently some kind of bottle.
Yes, they would lack that.
What is this bottle that they speak of?
The last piece that they need to resurrect Emperor Cimarron.
So is Cimarron dead this whole time? Because I kind of thought that he was just like locked away.
No, he has been sealed.
He is immortal and cannot actually be killed, correct?
You are correct, young Gaz.
So the best that could happen is you could sequester him away for all eternity.
Like in another dimension, so when you say resurrect, you mean like open gates back up? That's what they intend?
Something like that.
Is there a way to get this bottle before they do?
You will find, young Gaz, Cimarron's prison is well guarded and well hidden.
That may be true. Then maybe we should get the bottle. Or if they already have it, and if they have an army, and from what we've seen, their army is made up of more than just creatures of this plane.
Of course. We would expect no less, for that is how the original army of the Empire was. Many creatures summoned from the plane of fire. That is what created the Obsidian Wastes, after all, was the heat from every battle that was fought there.
And while the prison of Cimarron might be well guarded, I think that Fortunato and his ilk are ready for whatever lies ahead of them. And I fear that it might not be enough.
I know you would not, great lady, but we made the mistake of underestimating him, and it cost us dearly, as Konnor probably reported. I haven't put it all together yet, but there undoubtedly is going to be some type of blood magic that they're going to try to use to break the veil, or maybe even break the prison somehow. And we're just really concerned that given enough time that Fortunato has had, he's figured out a way to unlock the keys, or find a back door, or even, pardon my dwarven usage, tunnel his way in through magic or the weave or something.
Young Makarin, we can tell you for a certified, undeniable fact, the bottle, the prison that they seek, remains in our possession.
We've asked you what the bottle is, and you've told us it is a key. It is the last piece. Outside of these riddles, what is in the bottle? Has his essence been removed from his body?
The bottle is where he is kept, and where he shall remain.
Red Dirt D&D, Tales from the Caliban Frontier, is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Mokran Stoneshaper, Johnny Payne as Zonimus Dinar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, Connor Shenold as Konnor the Kobold, and I'm Michael Cross as Gaz. Special thanks to our Silver Star Paladin patron, Shenanigans Unplugged. Our theme music was created by the cinemagician P.J. Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music, courtesy of TabletopAudio.com, Sirenscape, and Monument Studios. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and at RedDirtDND.com. We here at Red Dirt D&D could really use your help in getting the word about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure and subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDND, We have several giving levels to help us grow up big and strong. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Caliban frontier.
This is the captain speaking. Everybody remember, fasten your seatbelts, tighten your ropes, all that kind of good stuff, and we're taking off now. Let's go.
Move that thing and the other thing.
Not that thing, the other thing.
I like the cut of your jib.
Batten down the hatches. But I did batten them down. We'll batten them down again. We'll teach them hatches.
I mean, she's real pretty, but real evil.
She's real pretty on the outside, not in the inside.
Now, beauty is often in the eye of the beholder. And
Which
hopefully
one?
we won't run into any of those beholders.
Which eye?
I can make it like honey.
As you should.
I just like pink things with like little umbrellas.
She's white halfling wasted.
Do you have any white claws in that bag?
Taavi thanks you very kindly for the tea. Oh, this is quite good.
I know how to make a cuppa.
You're my world, Poppy. I'm fighting for you.
Konnor and Mockern are at the wheel going,
We have needed to have a moment for like
Yes.
a half
Yeah.
dozen episodes now.
Yeah.
As a fan, it makes me so happy.
But also, Kiri's face is very red. I'm very hot now.
Actually, Konnor turns to Mockern. I don't have any hair for you to run through, so.
God.
Somewhere we start to hear the rage of all of Zonimus's old exes.
Wiley gets a tingle in the back
How
of
come
his
you never
neck.
did that with me?
You should do a
I get this
spin-off.
feeling like 1,000 voices crying out.
And then we're suddenly silent.
They were suddenly silent.
You should
It's
do
over.
a spin-off that's just Scott Pilgrim with him as...
No, it's campaign 2.5.
Yeah.
Just Poppy fighting Zonimus's evil exes.
Just all the evil exes are coming to try and take out Poppy, but Poppy's just like, no.
Stop playing music that's
Okay, guys.
copyrighted. Stop it.
We have a 10-second window. We can do it.
No, you cannot.
Cock-a-doodle-doo!
The internet lied to me?
Yes. Next day. Just give us enough clearance not to bang anything. You hear the beep, beep. Back up a little. Thank you, Poppy.
Thank you, Nightmare.
Yeah. Taavi. Oh, we got Nightmare back.
I'm assuming you guys had a full day and a quarter with this guy.
On the
You've
boat.
probably told him.
My companions, he corrects himself.
My
Zonimus,
marks. These are my...
Let's say friends is a big word.
These
for-
are my pets.
I'm the one that found him in a sack and kept him there for months.
excited to be here, walking perhaps a little too fast for some of you.
I have wildfire.
Yeah, I said some of you, and I mostly meant Mocker.
You ever seen him move that fast? And then I realize I'm behind, and so I'm like double stepping.
Again, I'm
It's
just
okay.
imagining, like Konnor and some of the other kobolds are have like dropped down onto all fours and are like scurrying along the path up the way.
My image is Marvin the Martian with his little legs going.
Don't worry, we dwarves are natural sprinters. I'm right behind you.
He keeps saying that, but
I don't think he knows what that means.
In a group of kobolds, it's kind of hard to actually spot which one is actually Konnor.
we just follow Gideon's backpack retreating into the crowd.
Konnor, are you saying that all kobolds look the same?
To you.
Wow. Wow.
I do imagine whatever mothering figure, which we've gotten the vibe, it's a group of people, just
Yes,
comes out
yes.
and they all just start hitting You don't call home enough! Why don't you call?
There's
You're
Konnor.
obviously not eating!
And look at the people you're hanging around with. Are these sanitary?
And have you met someone nice yet?
Are you going to make me a grandmother?
I know this Dr. Kobold, he's fabulous.
You lied to me. You said you were going on a vacation. Next I hear is your spy. What is all this about?
asked Thundercrack, but you know she's very secretive.
Welcome to Session 3, everybody, where the whole of world building gets a rewind.
We have always been rather fond of you, lady.
Are you flirting with my god? Stop it. It's just the love in the room, the awesomeness.
I don't know, she's kind of hot.
Gaz has a thing for older women.
I was raised by 2 older women.